Alright, so welcome back, guys. Like you all know, it's always all about history right on this channel, dating back to time immemorial. But today we'll be talking about something historic but far from history, and also it is very, very historic. Like the current state of things in Africa, the current African state. The biggest country in Africa that was colonized by the UK is Nigeria, like the United Kingdom, the British. The biggest country that the UK, the British colonized in Asia was India, which then comprised of the present Pakistan and Bangladesh. When the UK came to Nigeria and India, like all other countries, they colonized, they brought along the technology, religion, which was Christianity, culture, names, dressing, food, language, and etc. Try as hard as the British did, India rejected the British religion, the names, the dressing, the food, and even the language, but they did not reject the British technology. Today, 80.5% of Indians are Hindus, 13.4% are Muslims, 2.3 are Christians, 1.46, 0.8 Buddhists, etc. Hindi is the official language of the government of India, but English is used extensively in business and administration and has the status of a subsidiary official language. It is rare to find an Indian with an English name or dressed in suits. They are always dressed in their native dressing. On the other hand, Nigeria embraced to a large extent the British religion, British culture, names, dressing, foods, and language, but rejected the British technology outside. The difference between the Nigerian and the Indian experiences is that while India is proud of its heritage, Nigeria takes little pride in its heritage, and that situation has affected the nationalism of Nigerians and our development as a nation. Before the advent of Christianity, the Arabs had brought Islam into Nigeria through the north. Islam also wiped away much of the culture of northern Nigeria. Today, the north has only Sharia courts but no customary courts. So, from the north to the south of Nigeria, the western world and eastern world have shaped our lives to be like this, and we have lost much or all of our identity, which is very, very bad. We've lost quality, we've literally lost everything we once owned due to the westernization. But then, long after the British and the Arabs left Nigeria, Nigeria has waxed strong in religion to the extent that Nigerians now set up religious branches of their homegrown churches in Europe, the Americas, Asia, and other African countries. Just like the whites brought the gospel to us, Nigerians now take the gospel back to the whites. How ridiculous. We literally believe in Nigeria that religion is the biggest thing that can save us, that can liberate us, which is very well good, like our divine spirituality. But then we need to look beyond the religion and see that what exactly can we ourselves do, like what can we do for ourselves. In Islam, we are also very vibrant to the extent that if there is a blasphemous comment against Islam in Denmark or the US, even if there is no violent reaction in Saudi Arabia, the Islamic headquarters of the world, like this, if there is not even a violent response from Saudi Arabia, which happens to be the Islamic headquarters of the world, there will be lots of lives and destruction of property in Nigeria. An example can be cited to the said blasphemous statement made by a certain Deborah in Sokoto that was lynched and mobbed, burnt to death. May I so rest in peace. So, if the United Arab Emirates, a country with 75% Muslims, is erecting the tallest building in the world and encouraging the world to come and invest in its country by providing a friendly environment, Boko Haram ensures the economy of the north and by extension that of Nigeria is crippled with bombs and bullets unless every Nigerian converts to Boko Haram's brand of Islam. Like I repeat, unless Nigerians convert to Boko Haram's brand of Islam, which is not supposed to be. Islam is notably and widely known as a religion of peace. We are indeed a very religious people nation. Meanwhile, we were building the biggest churches, mosques. Like why we were busy building the biggest churches and mosques, the Indians, South Africans, Chinese, Europeans, and Americans have taken over our key markets: the telecoms, the satellite TV, multinationals, banking, oil and gas, automobile, aviation, shopping malls, hospitality, etc. Which is very, very saddening of the once acclaimed giants of Africa. or the Africa at large. Ironically, despite our exploits in religion, we are a people with little godliness. A people without scruples. It is rare to do business with a Nigerian pastor, deacon, knight, elder brother, sister, imam, mullah, malam, alaji, or alaja without the person laying landmines of bribes and deception on your path. We call it PR, facilitation fee, processing fee, transport fee, financial engineering, deal, or whatever. But if it does not change and nothing gets done, and when it is amassed, we say it is God's blessings. Some people assume that sleaze is a problem of public functionaries. But the private sector seems to be worse than the public sector these days. The private sector these days is very, very much terrible, but it can never be as stable as the public sector. The private sector